I first came to the school, I was, I think 26 or 27 years old. I was really young compared to what I am now. And it was just a very jubilant time for me. I had 5 years of experience in 2 other schools, one in New England and another one in the Bronx. And so I came with some experience, and I just loved it here. The classes were wonderful, at least my recollection, that I didn't pull out any hair at that time, I don't think. Yeah, so my recollection is that I had a lot of fun teaching classes, doing extracurricular activities. I think I was connected with debating, speech and debating, but I certainly was connected with the school newspaper. I was put in charge of the school newspaper as moderator. We had a great group, and the previous moderator said to me, "Don't worry, they'll take care of it." And that's what happened. So they practically said to me, "Sit in the corner and we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it." And that's pretty much what happened. They took care of the whole thing. So that was a very easy job, and I got to know those. It was a great little group that were editors of the Jamesonian. So then somebody else took over that. I don't remember why. Oh, probably because I became, after I guess after 4 or 5 years, I became then the assistant principal here at the school. That frightened me to death. Now, those who remember the period think they were frightened to death. Well, I was frightened to death because it was an awesome responsibility to be running the day-to-day running of the school. So we had everything, including discipline, order, keeping order. And so there are those who still needle me about how terrible I was, how mean I was. Like, maybe I was mean. But I remember one episode in the auditorium because I dismissed them from the auditorium because we had something going on. And as I was there, ready to dismiss we had a big school at that time, 1,600 or so. It was big. Anyway, the light bulb above me fell and crashed ground, and everyone. And my recollection is that I'm pretty sure I said, "Better luck next time," because it missed me. And of course, everybody laughed. Yeah, so that was fun. But those years as assistant principal were very challenging because you really had to give attention to their academics and the quality of their work. Of course, that part was kind of easy. Everybody was brilliant. Anyway, they were all handpicked by their parishes. 2 from each parish is what I recall. And so the parish would pick out these very bright kids and send them to us. So it was kind of easy working with students like that, you know. And I remember too, we had our brother Anselm Scott, who urged me. He was very interested in scholarships and things. He urged me to give lessons in scholarships for the Regents Scholarship. The Regents Scholarship was like a 2-day affair, and so I would have these little sessions, I think in the auditorium, about what questions might come up in the exam, the Regents exam for the scholarship. We used to win a lot of scholarships, not due to me, but simply because we had excellent students. So that was it. Then I was asked to go to Rome for what was called at that time a second novitiate. And that was a marvelous experience. A year I was a year in Europe, really, turned out. A month in Paris trying to learn French, and that was fine. Then I went to Washington, D.C., where I taught the young brothers who were studying to get their degrees. So I taught English there, college English, and that was good. Finally, in '66, I was asked to come back here as the principal. So I had been a teacher, and I had been assistant principal, and now principal. So I said, I accepted it. And again, it was another challenging thing from another point of view. It was very challenging. That was the year we went into Middle States. We received recognition from Middle States. The principal before me, Brother Basil Stephen, had everything organized. He and whoever was in charge had everything organized. All I did was come in to meet the committee as if I had done anything. I had done nothing. But that was the beginning of Middle States for us, which we've maintained since, of course. But my 5 years, I was, I guess, here for 5 years as the principal. And they were wonderful groups of students. But I also remember it was a very tough period. It was a very tough period in the USA. That was the war years, the Vietnam War, that the country was divided on, absolutely divided. And it was divided in the school too. We had teachers and students who were, the idea was we have to support the soldiers. Well, yes, we have to support the soldiers who had been sent there for this war, and others who said we just have to get out of there. And so we would have demonstrations, and there would be all sorts of things going on the college campus that would descend upon the high school campuses. So it proved to be a tough time, because no matter what decision you made, it was the wrong one. It was the wrong one, because it would might please the more conservative element that wanted to maintain something, and then it would then bother that more liberal element. I hate those terms, but that wanted to be freed from what had happened, and so no matter what decision you made, it was too much. At that time, after 5 years. Then I came back. I had a lot of other experiences in between. I was principal in Rhode Island and other things. But then I came back in '85, September of '85, and I had done guidance work elsewhere, so I was accepted into the guidance department. And that's been just a wonderful experience. The student bodies in these 3 periods have changed. Always wonderful. The school, great thing about Loughlin is it has adjusted to the student body that it has in front of it. There were some schools that, we can't teach, anything but brilliant kids. But Loughlin has adjusted itself so that we love all students that we have. Those who may, get into these lead the way courses, and others who may need extra help and attention in order to graduate and move on to college. Everybody, pretty much everybody, anybody in this school could go on to college if you can graduate. And most do, most do. So we love the kids that we've had over the years, no matter what their background. And we used to have a very white population when I first came here, white, and almost everybody was a Roman Catholic because they came from those parishes. And now it's very different. We have mainly the black students and the Hispanic students, and others, of course, Asian even students. Not that we haven't had some of those students from the beginning when I first came here.
Okay.
28,700 or so applicants, and they picked 300, and we have one of those winners. The other tough scholarship, which is the Morgan Chase, we have one of those winners this year. So we hold our heads high. Our students are terrific. We love them all. There is a scholarship named after me now, which is kind of humbling and at the same time very exciting. Exciting because when Brother Dennis came and said that Greg Bertels wanted to set this up, I said, yes, why? But why? Not because I feel it's an honor for me, but that if we have a successful scholarship drive, there will be all these kids who are in need of money because it's so expensive to come to a private school. So if they can come here with some scholarship help, that's great. So I do want it to be a very successful thing. So I've cooperated with that, going humbly to parties and the thing at St. Patrick's Cathedral, the Mass there and the reception there when the scholarship was announced. And I'm delighted that so many people from the past are contributing to this scholarship fund. So my understanding is that it is a successful venture that will be helpful to kids. I'm just delighted that kids, young students, will be able to get a Loughlin education with the help of this fund. And they'll be led by experienced and dedicated administrators and teachers, because we really have great administrators right now and really great teachers. I find the morale in the school very high, and the student body morale I find very high. It's a delight to be with our kids. They're really great. So with scholarship help, what more can you ask for? So I'm happy about the scholarship for that reason. Yeah, I don't need a scholarship named after me. That's ridiculous, that they would name anything after me. But I am happy about the scholarship.